My, oh my, oh my, oh my, oh my. The real estate market is about to get really interesting. I think that's the best way to put it.
I know this is hard for you, but winter is coming.
So pay close attention here in the next 10 minutes because this update could save you quite a bit of money if you're looking to buy or sell in Pagosa Springs. But before we get into it, let's take a quick second and calm our souls as we remind ourselves why we live in or desire to be in beautiful Colorado. All right, let's get into it. If you remember my last report, I mentioned that I think the median price of a home and condo here in Pagosa Springs would end up in the mid 400s. And guess what? Well, it went lower than that, and there's a reason why. The median price for all properties here in Pagosa Springs is $400,000 as of September 2022, a drop of 24% year over year. And that's because of condos and mobile homes, which are still playing an oversized role here. In September 2022, only 66% of sold properties were homes, a drop of 22% compared to a year ago. And since condos are priced lower than homes, that drags down the median price. If we look at only homes, the median price this past month settled at $512,000, a drop of 12% from a year ago. But that doesn't necessarily indicate the whole market is dropping that much year over year. So I decided to narrow down our data to the most reliable data set that we have. 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage homes under 2,000 square feet in the Pagosa Lakes area. And the price per square foot for this category was down only 0.3% year over year. But month to month, it was down 18%. And that is concerning because it's our biggest monthly drop since April 2010, when there's at least 3 homes sold in the current and prior month for this category. One thing is clear, this market is declining fast and buyers are choosing less expensive properties. And the reason for this is interest rates. And to understand where our market is headed, you have to look closely at what the Federal Reserve is doing. By raising interest rates, the feds are fighting inflation and as a result have sent the dollar to a 20-year high.
Meanwhile, the US dollar has surged to a 20-year high.
This is a 2-decade high for the US dollar index, which is the dollar against a basket of currencies.
As part of this inflation fight, Fed Chair Jerome Powell has made it clear that the housing market needs a correction to make houses affordable again.
Higher interest rates, really interest rates that move back toward a more normal level, should act to cool off the housing market.
One of the data points the Fed uses also pertains to jobs, and the job market is still red hot here in America. As employers keep hiring and raises keep getting handed out, inflation is likely to remain high, which means the feds will keep raising interest rates. And this past Friday, guess what happened? Another robust jobs report in which unemployment dropped to 3.5% and another 263,000 jobs were added. In fact, one chief economist put it this way: if I had just woken up from a really long nap and seen these numbers, I would conclude that we still have one of the strongest job markets that we've ever enjoyed.
What the f are you talking about?
Huh? No, what the f are you? I'm not.
And I bring this up because it points to one theme. The feds will keep aggressively raising interest rates, which means mortgage rates will continue to rise. In the span of 1 year, we've gone from 3% to now 7%. 7, that's incredible. To put that in perspective, here's how that impacts monthly payments on a home here in Pagosa Springs. In May, we peaked at a median price of $720,000 for a house. At a 3% interest rate, that home would have a mortgage of roughly $2,700 minus taxes and fees. But now with a 7% mortgage rate, you're looking at a payment of $4,300, an increase of $1,600 a month due to the interest rates alone. To put it another way, in order to afford a $2,700 a month mortgage, your budget would go from $720,000 to $450,000, a drop of $270,000. But here's the kicker: we're not seeing the effect of 7% interest rates yet. Those homes that closed in September had rates of 5.5% to 6%, which means we're gonna see prices continue to fall. But this is something that we saw coming. I brought this up during our last market report. Once interest rates started to rise rapidly in April and May, we knew a correction was coming. Now, we didn't think a crash is going to happen, and we still don't. But I do think we're in for some more pain on the seller side. And because of this, Team M Squared informed our sellers that they need to drop their prices now instead of later. Because what could happen is if these sellers wait too long to drop their price, they will end up trying to catch a falling knife, and as a result, end up losing more money than if they had priced their property correctly in the first place. This is something Team M Squared specializes in. We dig into the data and we're going to be honest with you on what we think your house is worth rather than puff you up with an unrealistic price. Our goal is to best represent your financial interests rather than our own pocketbooks. And we've saved our clients thousands of dollars these past few months by giving them real values and urging them to drop prices when necessary to avoid losing more in the end. We've even advised some of our clients to take their house off the market and wait a couple years for the market to rebound. But with that said, people will always need to buy or sell no matter what the market conditions are. For sellers, there's still certain situations where demand is still strong, such as properties that have riverfront on the San Juan River, properties that are updated and have killer views of the surrounding mountains. For buyers, there's going to be incredible opportunities coming up, especially if you're willing to put in a little sweat equity. But that still leaves us with a question. Where is the market headed? What's keeping the sky from completely falling though is inventory. It's starting to drop again after increasing after 4 months. In September, there were only 33 new listings, a drop of 23% compared to a year ago. In fact, we have to go back to 2013 to see new listings this low for September. And if you account for all of Q3, July through September, we stand at 161 new listings. It's been 10 years since it's been that low, and we've had a considerable amount of new construction since then. What we're seeing here is that sellers don't need to sell. There's an incredible amount of equity in homes right now. So I think we're going to see supply continue to decrease over the next 6 months, which could actually present opportunities for those that do need to sell since there's less competition on the market. And for buyers, there's going to be some deals ahead. Overall, I think prices will continue to decline until the Feds stop raising interest rates. And until that happens, it's really anyone's guess how low we could go. Early data for October shows another monthly drop in prices. And then once December hits, we should start to see the effects of 7% interest rates in our sold data. All I know is the reality of living here in the San Juans. The biking, the skiing, the hiking, the views, the lifestyle. It truly beats the hell out of living anywhere else in America. It's a more satisfying and beautiful life than living in the crowded city or suburbs where everyone is inside glued to a damn screen instead of nature. And the anxiety, the depression, the anger, the frustration of living like that will cause more and more individuals to move to the mountains and live the lifestyle they've always dreamed about. It's why this place is such a mecca for retirees who have the freedom to move anywhere. And yes, home prices right now will affect the ability for some to move out here, but there's a lot of folks on the sidelines ready to pounce once prices align with their budgets. The future here in Pagosa is bright, and I fully believe that. Sometimes we just got to go through these fluctuations in the housing market. But please remember this, when it comes to housing, you always buy for the long term rather than the short term. And a decade from now, prices will be much, much higher. The best thing you can do is to continue to pay close attention to This is Pagosa and Team M Squared and the market reports we put out there. Sign up for our newsletter, subscribe to our YouTube and Instagram, where we not only focus on real estate, but create quality content on the amazing things you can do in this area. I can't thank you enough for watching and participating in this journey with me. As always, hop raise. And you may be confused by that term, but that phrase is explained in the Riff Raff Brewing Company video that we did. So be sure to check that out. Cheers, Pagosa.